Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the rule changes and my thoughts on a lot of these rule changes that are going on and the stuff that got approved and the stuff that didn't get approved. I'm gonna I'll run down all the major things here, and get my thoughts on this. The first thing we're going to talk about is obviously what everybody was talking about, and that was whether the tush push would be banned or not. Now, obviously, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you know I'm a diehard Green Bay Packers fan. Um, that being said, you also know, because I did make a video a few months ago about this issue, um, I don't think the tush push should be banned. I've been on record on this before. I don't think the tush push should be banned. Um, and I'm a Packers fan. I hated when the Packers proposed this um, back earlier in the offseason. Because I just think the thing with the tush push, okay, it's a hard play to stop, but at the same time, they got to stop it. Like the defense has got to stop it. And there are times where that it has been stopped. Okay, it is not. It's like 90% of the time it's successful, which is still a high rate, but there still has been times where it has been stopped. Um, but again, it comes down to the players that have to stop the tush push. Um, and it's not just even Hurts. Hurts is the one that made it big, but I mean, obviously, it has been successful with Josh Allen. It's been, I mean, even the Packers kind of have used it, not exactly in that way that Hurts does it. People have done different variations of the tush push. Like the Packers did the fake where it looked like, they were going in shotgun and then they motioned the tight end, and then the tight end just does it. Um, just does the direct snap and does it himself. I mean, they've done that. Like, there's been all different variations of the tush push, besides just the classic Hurts tush push. The thing with the tush push, I'm glad it didn't get banned. It did not get banned, thankfully, because only 22 teams proposed for it to be banned on the votes. Um, for content, you need 24 teams to ban or to approve a rule change, basically. So only 22 teams proposed it to be banned or voted for it to be banned, and the 10 others did not. Um, like I said, it's a play that I think, I think there's a lot of different ways they could have gone about this than flat out banning the play altogether. Um, Rich Eisen, I watched his take on the tush push. And one of the things that he had proposed was not banning the tush push, but um, coming up with like a possibility where if you go for the tush push, the forward progress stop rule doesn't apply. So if it's like 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and you're gonna run the tush push, basically it's wherever the ball is at the end of the play. No more forward progress would apply. So the rule for forward progress is basically that if you're across the first down marker, but then your progress had been stopped by a defender, and then you're pushed back behind the first down line, you're still awarded the first down. But Rich Eisen had proposed on 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1, and you run the tush push, it's no longer basically applied. Kind of like with the holy roller, on inside of 2 minutes of the half or the end of the game or fourth down. The rules are different basically, so you can't advance a ball forwardly from a fumble unless it's the ball carrier or the person who caused the fumble basically. Um, Another player that recovers it can't advance it forward basically. These are kind of one of the things that Rich Eisen had suggested for the tush push. And that would make the tush push more of a risky play because if forward progress had been stopped, and you're behind the first down marker now, you wouldn't get the first down now because forward progress wouldn't apply. So that's a possibility. I mean, there's different things that they could do. Like I said, I think there are different advances that you can do to neutralize a play rather than flat out ban a damn play. There are so many different alternatives, whether you're allowed to put like maybe a defender in a certain spot, because I know with defenders, you can't like push you can't push a player on the defensive side like the offense can do. So like there's a possibility maybe you can make a rule where one of the defenders can push on a player if the offense is in a tush push formation. Like there are, like I said, I wish, and this is a problem with the NFL these days, is they never want to compromise on things. They just want to fucking just outright ban something or just change. It's just like with the, and we'll get more into this too, but it's the same thing with the kickoff situation. Instead of adopting and making the kickoff, making alterations to make it fair and balanced, they just want to do the stupid gimmicky kickoff instead and get rid of the onside kick. Which is basically what we're going to talk about that too, but you get the point. That's what they seem to do. They try to just erase something that's good rather than try to do something to help the defenders, make it a more balanced play where they have a fair shot at, contending with the tush push. This is what I think the NFL should do. Of course, we know how Roger Goodell's going to be. He's going to freaking do... I'm almost certain that Roger Goodell is going to try to ban it next year, too. Like, it's going to happen again next year, too. Now, supposedly, allegedly, my Packers proposed this because Mark Murphy, the outgoing team president, made a deal with Roger Goodell behind the table that allowed the Packers to get the draft, get to host the draft this year, in exchange to, try to get the tush push banned. So this was something obviously in the works before the season, because obviously the draft was announced, a year ago, if going to Green Bay. That's something that I've heard. I wouldn't put it past them, but I just want to say this because a lot of people are memeing the NFL playoff game that we lost to the Eagles. I just want to say right now, we didn't lose that playoff game because of the tush push. Okay, we lost that game because the referees fucked us over on the first play. Okay, that was a fumble that was recovered by the Packers. Plus, it should have been a penalty too because he illegally hit him helmet to helmet. Okay, but the Packers clearly recovered that ball. All right, and they gave it to the Eagles, and then of course a couple plays later the Eagles scored a touchdown. We never recovered from that. Okay, despite the defense playing their ass off and keeping the game close for a long time. Okay, we lost that game because of that play. Okay, because we were chasing the entire game, okay, after that bullshit call by the referees. Had nothing to do with the tush push, okay? Just want to put that out there since a lot of people want to keep crapping on us because we lost to the Eagles. We could have won that game. Yeah, I said it. We could have beaten the team that eventually won the Super Bowl because of that stupid play on the first play of scrimmage. Okay. Um. But yeah, so that's my first thoughts on obviously the big thing. Um. Was the tush push obviously. Um. The next thing, which we're gonna get to, which we just kind of hinted at, is the NFL has approved onside kicks being able to be declared for any quarter, not just the fourth quarter like it was last year. I like this because when they did the stupid new kickoff rule that they introduced last year, obviously I was highly against it. Still am. I wish they would just get rid of the stupid kickoff, the stupid XFL kickoff rule. Um, but the thing that I hated about it was that the onside kicks are no longer surprise onsides, and basically they could only be declared in the fourth quarter. And also you had to be losing too. You had to be behind, and it had to be in the fourth quarter. Um, so now this year, it's basically going to be any quarter that you can do it. Which I'm assuming means that it will also not be. Oh, okay. So it is still trailing, which I think that's stupid too, by the way. So it's any quarter, but you have to be trailing in the game. So if it's tied, or if you're winning, you can't do it, which is so fucking stupid, by the way. Um, I mean, people typically aren't going to do it if you're losing, but what if the game's tied? You could. Why wouldn't you want to do a steal possession? Um, so yeah, I don't like that. They're also going to allow the kick to be kicked from the 34 instead of the 35. And again, I don't know if this is going to help the onside kick. The onside kick was basically non-existent last year, even when they attempted to do it. People aren't probably practicing it as much anymore because it's not really a guaranteed play to get on. Like I said this a couple of years ago, and this is before they even did this stupid thing with the new kickoff rule. But the thing that you need to do with the onside kick is you need to make it where the recovery zone needs to be 7 yards instead of 10 yards. Um, so instead of for the onside kick, because for the onside kick, it's still the same thing. Basically, you have to. Well, it's got to be in the zone too. Yeah, the new kickoff rule is so stupid. I still don't fully grasp it. Hell, the referees don't even fully grasp the new onside kick rule. Still, they were still confused by it at the beginning of last year. But it's the zone thing or whatever it was called. You have to get it within the zone, but I still think you have for the onside kicks you have to. It has to be within 10 yards before you can like actually touch the ball, unless the other team touches the ball first. Um, but I think they should move it back to 7. Like that's what I said. Like instead of it being 10 yards, make it 7. Make it 7 because it will make it easier for people to recover. It will give them a better chance of recovering. It's not going to always be that way, but I think that increases the percentage. If you make it where the kickoff team only has to have the ball trail 7 yards instead of 10 yards, I think that would make it easier to recover the ball. That is what I think they should do for onside kicks. And again, there are no surprise onsides anymore because of the way the kickoff rule is now. But that would be a way I would think to make it better. Would be to do that. Uh, the any quarter thing is fine. But there's gonna be needs to do more than just this. I really wish that they would really have a serious conversation with doing onside kicks and possibly having the ball travel 7 yards instead of 10 yards to get the ball without having a penalty or a player touching it from the other team. That's what I think they should do. That's been my proposal for a while, even before the stupid gimmicky kickoff rules that were created last year. But that's what I think they should do. Okay, so the next thing is the stupid NFL players can compete in the Olympics. So for anybody who doesn't know, basically the Olympics is now creating a new event for the summer of 2028, which allows flag football in the Olympics. This is the first time they're ever doing this. And so here's my 2 cents on it. I fucking hate it. Okay. Not hating that the NFL players can participate in the Olympics. What I hate about it is that it's flag football. Why? Why even bother doing this if it's not tackle football? Like, quit being pansies, play tackle football, or don't do it at all. That's the way I say it. That's the way I say it. Like, this is football, okay? Enough of this bullshit of, oh, we're going to play flag football. No, bro, this is freaking contact goddamn sports. Fuck that shit. Okay? And someone told me it's not affiliated with the NFL, it's affiliated with something else, but I don't give a fuck. It's stupid. It's stupid and dumb. Okay? Play real football or don't play at all. All right, enough of this. Oh, we're not going to tackle in the Pro Bowl. We're going to do this stupid bullshit Pro Bowl gimmicky thing. Like, get that fucking shit out of here, man. All right, either play tackle football or don't fucking play the games at all. All right, like, I used to actually like the Pro Bowl when it was actually tackle football. But then once they started being idiots and not doing it, and then fucking they completely made it into a shit show, I was like, just fucking get rid of this fucking shit. It's a waste of time. It's not worth it. Who gives a shit? I don't even know who the hell still watches this. Like, who the hell still watches the Pro Bowl anymore? Like, just get rid of that garbage. It's like, either play tackle football or don't play at all. If you want to make it, less tackling, where it's just like, okay, you tackle, but you don't freaking do force tackle, whatever. But you got to freaking do tackle football. Come on. All right. Enough of the stupid flag football bullshit. Okay. All right. That's my whole saying on this. You don't see, you don't see the Olympics saying, oh yeah, hockey players, guess what? You're not gonna tackle you when you go on the ice. We're not gonna have collisions. You can't have collisions. We're gonna have flags coming out. You're not gonna do that for hockey, right? So why are you doing it for football? Okay, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I am interested to see what the rules are gonna be for this. Because if this is goddamn flag football, why can't retired players just play? That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the criteria? What's the criteria for this flag football in the Olympics? According to this, it says 32 clubs will be allowed one player, one of the players to play on each country's team. Well, aren't pretty much most NFL players from the United States? I'm sure there's some from Canada too, but I'm not exactly sure how many football players in the NFL are from Canada. But outside of Canada and the United States, I don't think there really are any stars from other countries that are currently playing in the NFL. And if there are, they're not that many. Okay. So I don't really even understand this logic. They're saying the NFL international pathway players will also be allowed to participate without restrictions. Okay, but I mean, are they stars though? Like, unless they're stars, it doesn't matter. Like, like obviously, I'm assuming the Olympics are gonna want stars on the team, right? Like, So yeah, like I just don't get it, man. And that's the thing. What about retired players? Like, if this is just flag football, why can't like Chad Johnson? Like, I seen Chad Johnson tweeting about it. I'm like, why can't Chad Johnson just do it then? What is the criteria? Like, how many people are going to be playing on this flag football? Like, is it going to be a 53 man roster? Like in this Olympics, like seriously, what is it? What are the criterias? Like, I mean, man, like, why don't we just get Brett Favre back in there? You know, or hell, even Aaron Rodgers. He's currently not on the Steelers yet. We know he's going to be a Steeler soon, but he's coming to a steel curtain near you, but he's still not there yet. So I mean, what is it? Like, what are we doing here? Can Tom Brady do it? I mean, Tom Brady's retired, but it's flag football. I know he's an owner. I know he's part owner of the Raiders, but this isn't the NFL. This is the Olympics. You know, this is the Olympics. So does that matter? Do the rules apply? Do the rules apply for this flag football Olympics? Okay. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the criteria? You know, I don't get it. I think it's stupid to be like I've been on record. I think that the flag football thing is stupid. It should be tackle football. If you're gonna do it, you don't see that for hockey. You don't see that for any of the other like Olympic sports that have collisions in them. But yet you have to do it for football, of course. You know, of course. You know, we can't actually have tackle football. Oh, in rugby too. Rugby, like people that play rugby in the Olympics, they're doing tackle football. They're not doing flag football. You know, they're not doing flag football. They're doing fucking tackle. And they're not even wearing freaking, uniforms or anything. I'm sorry, not uniforms, pads. They're not wearing the pads and all that stuff and the equipment on there. They just got the shirt. So I mean, like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? Okay. All right. So that's my whole rant on the Olympics. All right. So the final thing here, and I know this is going to be an issue in itself. So the Lions proposed a reseeding proposal. So it was proposed in May. It was scrapped at the last minute. Then the Lions proposed it again. It did not have enough support, so the Lions opted to remove, and they surrendered. Okay, so here's the thing about the reseeding thing. I'm kind of conflicted on this one. Okay, so on one hand, I agree that a team that wins the division should absolutely get the home playoff game. Okay, but here's where I'm conflicted on. My whole caveat for this is the only thing of where I don't agree that a division team should get the home game. And that's if the team has a losing record. Okay, so if the team, since we're in a 17-game schedule now, if the team is 6-11, 7-10, or 8-9, if a team wins the division with that type of losing record, they should surrender their home game to the top wildcard team. And then they still get in the playoffs, but they have to play on the road. That is, to me, the only thing that I think should be reseeded in the playoffs. I think it should be, and of course, Roger Goodell is never going to compromise on this, but that's how I think it should be. I think if you are in a crappy division If you are in a division that is so bad, it's so bad that your top division winner is a 7-10 team, okay, has a losing record, okay, they still get in the playoffs because they won their division, but they get the road seed instead. So they would get bumped to basically to the in this scenario they would get bumped to either the last seed, or you still give them the fourth seed. Or I'm sorry, not the fourth seed, you give them the fifth seed. Because the top seeded fifth seed team that was second place in their division, okay, they should get that home game then, because while they didn't win their division, they clearly had double-digit wins, and the other team was in a terrible division. Okay? So in that scenario, the way I would do it, I wish I had a graph for this, but the way I would do it basically, I would do it where, so let's say in this case, a team finishes, okay, let's say hypothetically, Seattle, because Seattle was 7-9 once, okay? They won a division at 7-9. Okay, let's say Seattle, the NFC West is so garbage. Okay, the NFC West is so garbage that Seattle wins their division with a 7-10 record. Okay, instead of getting the fourth seed, because they would get the fourth seed primarily, they would basically they would still win their division, but they would drop down to whatever team. So if the wild card teams, obviously the top seeded wild card team would probably have more wins than the 7-10 Seattle Seahawks. Okay, they would drop down to the 7th seed, assuming that the two other wild card teams have winning records. Okay, so they would drop down to the 7th seed, and they would basically play they would play the second seed instead. Since the second seed doesn't have a bye anymore. That would be scenario one. That would be probably the case, the big case scenario. Case scenario two would be you have the 7-10 Seattle Seahawks. Instead of getting the fourth seed like they would normally get, they would get the fifth seed, even if the two other teams have better records. Only the fifth seed wild card team would get the home game. You know what I'm saying? So that would be the other scenario. Would be like, it would basically be a swapping of the two seeds. If you have a losing record. If you have a losing record for the division, you would basically swap. You would swap with the top wild card team, which would be the fifth seed team. So say you have the New Orleans Saints, okay? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won their division with a 13-4 record, right? You have the New Orleans Saints, okay, who were 12-5, okay? They're the fifth seed, okay? They're the fifth seed, okay? They didn't win their division, but they're the fifth seed, and they have the top wild card seed as the fifth, okay? The 7-10 Seattle Seahawks won their division, but because they have a losing record, they get bumped to the fifth seed, instead, and the 5th seed then gets bumped to the 4th seed because they won their division with a losing record. And then the 2 other wild card teams, they still stay the same. They stay the same depending on what their record is, okay, and the tie-breaking scenario, okay? So then you now have the division team as the 5th seed playing the top seeded wild card team at the wild card team's home field instead. That to me would be the 2 ways to do it. You either just swap out the crappy division team, to a road game against the top seeded wild card team, and they become the 4th seed and they became the 5th, and nothing else changes. Then everything else goes by record and tie-breaking scenarios. Or you just you bump down the division team. You bump down the division team to the 7th seed then. And it depends on what they're like. It, again, only applies if they have a losing record. If they have a winning record, they win their division with 9-8, for example. If they win their division with 9-8, they still get the home playoff game. That's what I'm basically saying. So if the Seattle Seahawks get 9 wins and 8 losses, they will still then host the New Orleans Saints, who would be 12-5 in this scenario. So they would still get the 4th seed, and the Saints would get the 5th seed in that scenario. That to me is the only way I would ever go along with this. Because I think if you had a winning record, even if you didn't have as many wins as the other wild card team, you should still get the home game. I think you should only be punished as a division team if you have a losing record, like Seattle did years ago under the 16-game regular season format when they were 7-9 that one year and got the home game over the Saints or whatever. That's the only time I think it should apply. That's my take on this. So it wouldn't have affected anything last year, by the way, my proposal. But that's, to me, how I think you get this rule changed. Okay, the Lions, what they wanted to do was they wanted it to be anybody. They want, like, even if you had a winning record, even if you won the division with a winning record, but the other team had a better record as a wild card team. That's what they want to do. That, to me, will never get support. Okay, that will never get support. Okay, a team that has a winning division team, but doesn't have as many wins as the second place team in another division, to me, will never be successful. They'll never get that pass because nobody will ever buy into that. To me, it has to be a team that wins their division because they're in a crappy division that has a losing record. Okay, that to me is where it should be punished, not trying to make the divisions pointless. Okay, only make it the switch if they have a losing record in that division. Okay, that to me is what I think the NFL needs to go for next year. They need to have that specific language in there. Of course, maybe Goodell will never figure that out because he never wants to compromise on anything. But to me, that is something that they should do for the future. That is what they need to look at for the future if they want to propose this again, because it seems like they want to propose this still. Like, they never took the vote because they knew owners weren't going for it. So that's why they just basically tabled it and threw the white flag up. But that to me is what you have to do if you're going to do it. The overtime rule, both teams will be able to possess the ball. I'm pretty sure this was already a thing other than the playoffs, because the playoffs automatically, they already had that in play with the, after the Kansas City Bills game in 2022. But I think they made that last year, so I don't know exactly what is different now. So it's just the same format using the postseason. I don't exactly know what's different about this. If you score a touchdown, score is still tied after both teams possess the ball. The next score wins. Well, yeah, we knew that already. It will be applied to regular season games after it was approved in March. Okay, so basically what they're saying is that the right, because I think that was like that last year though. So I'm pretty sure that was like that last year though. So there's not really much change. I personally think for the regular season, it should have been the way it was before, where if you kick a field goal, you don't win the game, the other team gets a possession, but if they score a touchdown, then the game's over. I only think it should matter. I think the first possession thing for the playoffs, where both teams get to possess the ball, I think it should only apply for the playoffs, because playoffs is sudden death. To me, for regular season, it should be what it was before. Though I will say, I do think they should bring back 15 minutes in the regular season for overtime instead of this bullshit 10-minute thing. Okay, I think it should be a fair 15 minutes, because now we're seeing more ties because of that. Not that I'm totally opposed against ties, but I think give them the 5 minute. Give them a 5 minute quarter like you do for all the other quarters. That to me is the only thing I would change for the regular season. NFL is also expanding the replay assist. I don't have an issue with replay assist. It's making it a little better. It's making that a little better. So yeah, anything to expand that will be good, because obviously there's been some bullshit non-calls. I really think that they really should focus on the replay assist and make it where you can look at possible missed penalties, because that would be something very, very important for the playoffs. You know, when we seen the Saints thing happen with the Rams back in 2019, when that was pass interference and helmet to helmet. So I think we need to have more replay assist when it comes to forcing on penalties and penalties that are never called when they should have been. You know, because that's something like I said, like I still think when it comes to plays that involve, you know, helmet to helmet, stuff like that, I really think that stuff should be challengeable now. And I know some people are like, well, you can't challenge all these penalties. But seriously, when it comes down to these safety penalties, these referees are in real time, are looking at them and they're like, oh yeah, that's definitely helmet to helmet. And then we see it on replay and it's like, it's not really helmet to helmet, or vice versa. So I think when it comes to these, they really got to do something about that. They really got to do something. And that's why I think those should be challengeable, because I mean, that ends games, that ruins games with those situations. So that's something I would like to see, and I really hope that replay assist really kind of focuses on that a little bit more, where they're, calling penalties that should have been called, or taking penalties away more with replay assist. Because that otherwise, I think you should do penalties on those, roughing the passers or helmet to helmets with the receivers. That's my thoughts on that. So yeah, this is my full in-depth thoughts on the rule changes for the NFL. What I like and what I don't like. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate if you like this video. My videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for all the latest content. Thank you. And as about it, guys, I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure, besides my YouTube channel, Follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram. I also have Discord link in the description where we talk about a lot of discussions, including the topics on this. Also, do have a YouTube tier list for perks. So go check that out as well. Now I'm out. Peace.